Hey, what's up, everyone? Please subscribe. Anyway, my name is Coaster Cat, aka Roller Coaster Rider,
It's Kay.
and we're reviewing right now episode 412 entitled Lost at Sea. I'm guessing 2.
Yeah.
On the DVR, all 3 of the episodes all say Lost at Sea, so I'm assuming this is 2 because it's, well, part 2 of 3.
Okay. Is number 3 going to be next?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this episode, it's one of those things where it's a time traveling episode where where they go into the past and then they do references to stuff nowadays, which it is a kind of a trope that a lot of shows use, but in my opinion that offers like the best commentary and references, which is something that I especially like, especially with Disney Channel shows. So in this episode, the main plot is mainly Jessie's plot, right?
Mm-hmm. Jessie and her necklace that her dad gave her.
Mm-hmm. She got a necklace, and something we forgot to mention. Bertram has now joined them, and Mrs. Kipling has been sent essentially to fat camp for lizards. So now he's joined. There's no real. One pet peeve is that there's no real mention as to how he got on board the ship or why he wasn't on the ship at the beginning.
Maybe you just put 2 and 2 together that he got on while they were in Spain and they had to leave Spain.
Or he just got on some private jet or something, or I don't know.
From New York to Spain.
Mm-hmm. This episode mainly takes place in Spain.
I
Italy.
I
thought it was like either Italy or Greece.
It was Italy.
Is Greece along the shore?
That's the upper. They're in the bottom if they were at Spain. I think they said Italy.
Okay. So the guy tells Jessie a story about about her necklace, and then that kind of translates into not only doing pop culture references and stuff, but also kind of spoofing the show itself.
Yeah.
At the same time, and spoofing the episode currently, which I also enjoy.
So Bertram kind of had a bigger role this time.
Yeah, he was like King Bertius,
Empress or something.
Mm-hmm. And in this he's the king, but at the same time he's also kind of like lazy, like he usually is. And then
Emma
and Zuri are kind of like the toga ladies.
Slaves.
Oh, okay, slaves. No, not really slaves.
Well, because
servants.
Yep, that's a better word.
And I think their names are like Sarcastia or Sarcastica, and like Spoiled Bratius or something. Which was pretty funny, and my favorite line on the episode was during this point, but they also reference like modern technology with like fanning, because he says oscillate, and so they're like waving him while running around in a circle
around the lounge chair like thing he was laying on.
And then, I found that funny. And then, during this time, Ravi and Luke are mainly, something we forgot to mention is that Emma and Zuri were previously taking advantage of Bertram, like saying, like, knee seat, where he essentially moved his knee so Emma could sit down. And Zuri was asking for orange juice and stuff. Like, they were saying, just because you're on vacation, you still work.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like a role reversal with that. Luke and Ravi, in an effort to try to impress girls, were going to do a firewalking. But in the flashback, they were gladiators.
They wanted to be gladiators
no.
Instead of picking up raw sewage in the street.
Yeah. What was Ravi's name? Like Nerdius or something? And I think, what was Luke's, like, Thaddeus Boeus or something.
Something, but anyway.
And Jessie is kind of like the
beautiful
goddess,
woman.
basically.
Yes.
And kind of spoofing an earlier episode of Jessie was when, about how Jessie was engaged. They kind of do a parody of that, with this guy wanting to propose to her, and wanting to get married. What
But
else?
then she finds out the necklace has a curse on it.
No, that's in present day. We're talking about in the flashback.
That was in the flashback.
Oh, okay.
Remember she had to go to the cave with the tiger?
Oh, yeah.
And go to the back of the cave?
No, I thought...
Put it on the altar?
I thought it was a lion. Wasn't it a lion?
Yeah. It was a lion, yeah.
Because that was during Roman gladiator times.
Yeah.
So
Luke and Robbie did turn into scrawny gladiators.
Mm-hmm. And one part that I loved is that Bertram was like, what kind of servant just sleeps around all day? And then he was like, oh. Kind of referencing the show itself. And
better not go there.
And it was pretty funny when Emma and Zuri were laying down. They were like, why didn't you get sleep? They were like, no, we're sleeping on the bones of your last servants.
Yeah. Very uncomfortable bed.
There were, for an anniversary present, or no, for an engagement present, Jessie gives the guy a sundial watch. And he doesn't like it, so he just throws it away. So she's like, well, because okay, I get it. You don't like accessories.
Yeah. Well, he said that the wedding was off.
Mm-hmm.
But with the sundial watch, he could only use it in the daylight, not on cloudy days.
While it's sunny.
A lot of stipulations.
There's another reference that she got it from Abercrombie and Witch, and she said, what in the name of Hades is going on?
Yeah, she should return it to them.
Which was also pretty funny. There's a joke referencing Caesar's Palace.
Yep.
Including the buffet, which I thought was also hilarious.
Right. Jessie said that they could go to Caesar's Palace for their honeymoon, and then he said, oh, good, I've got a coupon for the buffet.
which was also pretty funny. Let's see, what else? At the end, Luke and Ravi do a fire walk.
Right, to impress the women.
Mm-hmm.
Show their bravery.
And something I find weird is that Ravi was kind of in pain while he was doing it. When in an earlier episode he talked about like how he slept on like hot coals in India.
I don't know. I'll have to watch that episode.
Don't worry, you will.
Okay.
So, this is similar to, but it's not one of my favorite Jessie episodes, and by saying that, you can probably guess what my favorite episode is. We haven't reviewed it yet.
Okay.
Darn you, Disney, for not airing it yet. What? Anyway, so what... I think we both agree that the MVP in this episode was Jessie, because it was mainly her episode. Like, she was the main character.
Yep.
What was do you have a favorite line from the show? Because I do.
Not really.
Oh. My favorite line was when Bertius was asking for cheese or something. And then Emma says, cheese has only been invented for 3 weeks. The sheep are still getting used to it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was hilarious. Would you suggest people watch this episode if it airs on Disney Channel, or set their recorder to record the episode?
They can get 1, 2, and then the third one that we'll talk about next.
Does this episode work as a standalone episode where you don't need to have seen part 1? Because I think it kind of does. All you need,
I think it does, because they just traveled to Italy. They had to leave Spain.
They were on a boat
because of
Luke.
Causing a
what was it? The democracy of something.
If he can't do this, and he's a prime minister,
or democracy of combat, something like that. There's some reference to him not being able to hit something, or I don't know. Anyway, I think this episode works as a standalone where you don't need to see part 1.
Right.
But if you've seen part 1, it kind of does connect.
Because they're on the yacht, and then they go to the island.
And they do the flashback story episode, which I found very funny. It referenced a lot of things, and it made fun of both the episode itself, the show, and pop culture references, which is a trifecta that I enjoy.
Yep.
Anyway, like we said, it's part 2 of 3, so take a guess what we're reviewing next. Bye.
Bye.
And you're watching Disney Channel, and subscribe.